Maguro is the older brother of Medaka and Naze, and has, let's say, some sus desires. Yet there is more to his character than just these desires, a duality between the Lord and death, and so this is what we shall discuss today. If you find yourself entertained at any point during the video, then consider liking, subscribing and ringing that bell, as I cannot explain to you how much such a small action can do for this channel, and if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps check out my Patreon. Anyway, on with the video. Maguro is the oldest son of the main Kurakami family. He loves his sisters a little bit too much and is a wizard when it comes to training and analysis. His abnormality, after all, is one that improves others. It is an abnormality of the mind, not the body. It allows him to see the smallest of details and analyse every aspect of someone, a skill he uses to help people improve and train to level 99. As he says himself, his managing and analysis are just outlets for his desires to level people up. It's in his nature to make others better, hence why his abnormality is analysis, a personification of his nature. He is someone who enjoys changing others. It's almost like he is a god above, something reflected in his name, which contains the kanji for god, but also by the cross around his neck. However, at the same time, he was part of the Flask plan, and his training is not only harsh but dangerous, one that gets results regardless of the means. There is both good and bad in him and in his methods, and this is showcased brilliantly in his design. He wears a crucifix around his neck and a skull on his belt. The former is a symbol of God and purity, and the latter of danger and death. They are conflicting symbols. This relates to his methods of training people, that he will only strive for the best method regardless of what it is. Good and bad matter not, he embraces both in order to meet his goal. He was part of the Flask plan, what in reality was quite an inhumane, dare I say evil operation. Hence why, when he mentions it, we get to zoom in on his belt. However, he is doing it in the name of making others better. There is a good end but a bad means. But to Maguro such things are irrelevant. He embraces both the good and the bad. He acts impartially for the sake of his goal and nothing more. As that goal means more to him than morals. He may have lost his left kidney, 20% of his heart, 50% of his liver, 75% of his stomach, 5 arteries and 3 veins in order to leave the Flask plan, but he had no complaints, as seeing hell on earth was well worth it. Satisfying his desire is more important than any morals. As to him, the most important thing is satisfying his desires, another rather devilish part of his personality. But of course, when we are talking desires, his desire to raise people is number 2, because let's be honest, the most defining part of Maguro is that he is a syscon. Remember, although he ended up engrossed in the hell on earth the Flask plan became, he did originally join in order to find his sister Kujiro, as he cares for nothing more than his 2 sisters, which once again ties into this good and evil nature of his. He loves his sisters, it's a pure intention represented by the cross around his neck, but the way he acts on it is perverse, hence the skull on his belt. And well, all I will say is that the cross is near his heart, as his feelings are pure in of themselves, but the skull representing his actions, which aren't pure, are, well, you know, near his crotch. I won't say any more. And well, since Kurakami literally means black god, and in Japan the colour of black often is associated with evil or bad intentions, even his name then can fit this duality inside him, since he is both a god, good and pure, and black, evil and devious. Oh, and quickly, since we're on the subject of names, his given name Maguro means tuna. This fits with all the Kurakamis being named after aquatic life, but on a deeper level, references how he grew the Kurakami family to a financial global powerhouse, since tuna is a very expensive fish, and the bigger the tuna gets, the more expensive it becomes, referencing him growing the company. But back to the topic at hand, I think it's this constant struggle inside him between the good and the bad, be it in relation to his desires to improve others or his desires for his sisters, that make him such an alluring character. However, that all said, I think there is a character arc he undergoes, and it's of course in relation to his sister Medaka, or more importantly of entrusting her to Zenkichi. He always brings up how Zenkichi needs to be strong enough to protect Medaka. The reason he first forbids him from staying by her side is because he saw him as too weak. And I think this is very important, as how does Maguro describe himself? As weak, as someone who isn't strong and can only make others strong. Even if he wanted to be, he cannot be the one to be by Medaka's side, as he knows he is too weak. He desires her body, but more importantly he desires her happiness and her safety. And this may be why his abnormality is analysis. Maybe he isn't born from his desire to level characters up to level 99 in RPGs, but instead from his desire to entrust his sister to someone. It's a skill that specifically allows him to train someone else up to be worthy of protecting Medaka. And I think this is his arc across the series. It's the reason he sides with not Medaka but Zenkichi in the election, because his role in the story is to help Zenkichi to become Medaka's equal. and his arc is coming to entrust Medaka to somebody else, to Zenkichi. He comments on how Zenkichi got stronger in order to protect Medaka, and then sees him with his own eyes bring Medaka back from Miyakondro's mind control. He watched Zenkichi fight Munakata, an abnormal, and then a minus Kumagawa. He watches a normal fight such monstrous people, all for Medaka's sake. And one of the key reasons that Maguro can see Zenkichi this way is because he is one of the few abnormals in the series to not see abnormals as superior. He admits that he is weak and that a normal is better equipped to protect Medaka. He can value Zenkichi because he is able to see through the lies of abnormals and minuses with his own skill. He understands that underneath all people are the same, the central theme of the story. Remember, he says that he likes to level up characters no matter how weak to level 99, because he understands that everyone can be strong because everyone has their own weak and strong points. That individuality makes everybody equal and that everyone is equally able to become strong. This culminates in him taking Zenkichi's side over Medaka's, on him choosing to support not his own desires, but what is best for Medaka. He learns to be selfless in a way, he learns that the happiness of Medaka is more important than his own, that this is the essence of his love for her, it's deeper than just a ciscon fetish. He before would accept evil, the means if it meant achieving a pleasurable end. But by the end of the story I think he has changed, if only a little. He thought that he couldn't change himself, only change others, and that was true. His skill didn't work on himself, but nothing says he can't be changed by others. It's through Zenkichi's displays of commitment to Medaka and the love his sisters show him that force Maguro to change and develop. He can't change himself with his skill, but he can be changed by others, by connection, which remember is one of the biggest overall themes of the series. He took the role of a doting brother to the extreme, to a perverse extreme, and in a way this may have been his own way of protecting her, or protecting the two people most precious to him. But it is not a role he has to play forever. He entrusts Medaka to Zenkichi and no longer needs to protect her. After all, his final message to her during the 13 Flower Run was that he will be there for her. He will always be there if she needs him, but only if she needs him. Because he has entrusted her to somebody else and so shed his role as her protector and let Zenkichi take up that job. Overall then, Maguro is no saint, but also he is no devil. He is someone who, whether he will admit it or not, puts the feelings of his loved ones first, a brother who loves his sisters, but maybe just a little too much. Comment of the week comes from Fan4Everyone lol, and thank you, and I don't plan to stop anytime soon. If you are interested in my literary endeavours, then why not check out my books Gang, Fluid Justice and People of Fate Volume 1, available at Amazon.com. And if you want to go the extra mile in supporting this channel, then consider pledging to my Patreon, where for as little as £2.75 a month, you can get your name at the end of the video, like Hikari Desu, 7SO, Rinjak9696 and Dewey. So with all that said and done, I've been SephTheSin, the Deadly Sin of Geek, and I'm signing out. Stay safe, everyone.